Lassiter Factor.
What's up, all my movie-loving maniacs? It's your boy Bankful B of the Lassiter Factor, and with Fantastic Four First Steps in theaters, I've done a review of it. You should check it out. It's on this page. I also thought I'd take a moment to stop and rank every single Fantastic Four movie from the worst to the best. And no, I am not one of those people that likes to think that The Incredibles is the best Fantastic Four movie. Granted, it's the best in concept, but it's not the Fantastic Four movie. But enough chit-chat, let's get into it. Coming in dead last is Fantastic, or as some call it, Fantastic Four 2015. Yep, this is dead last for a reason. From the production troubles to the script, the acting, this was Fox's second attempt at trying to launch the Fantastic Four, and they failed horribly. And the thing is, these casts aren't terrible picks to play these characters, and under better circumstances, they would have done great as these characters. But because the movie itself was not under the right circumstances, this is the movie we got. Where's the thing's pants? I'm all for Michael B. Jordan getting roles, but why is he black? And what they did to Dr. Doom in this movie is just unforgivable. This is probably the worst Fantastic Four movie for many years and decades to come, because I doubt that you can do any worse than this. At number 4 is the Roger Corman Fantastic Four movie from the 90s that never got released. And the only reason I have this over Fantastic is because at least their hearts were in the right place when they made this movie. It's just sad that this movie getting made was ultimately a scam because the producer wanted to keep the rights to these characters. And if you have not seen Doomed, the untold story of the Roger Corman Fantastic Four movie, I highly recommend it. It is currently on Tubi. Despite the fact that this movie is a result of having a $1 million budget, it still doesn't change the fact that this movie had horrible production value. The acting wasn't the strongest. The script wasn't the strongest. But it is a nice piece of comic book history to watch if you have not seen before. It's just a nice little footnote to watch and see how far we've come. Coming in at number 3 is Fantastic Four 2005, which was directed by Tim Story. And look, this movie and the next one always have a nostalgic place in my heart, but overall, this is not a good movie. But I have it a little higher because this is coming off of the unreleased 90s movie, in which they did slightly a little bit better. I mean, I could look at this movie and pass it off as a fun little comic book adventure and a fun little origin story for the Fantastic Four. I can look at this and go like, okay, this is slightly better. You are getting the characters a little bit right. Granted, either you just don't have the resources to make this the best it could be, or there's not enough money in the budget. I do think Chris Evans and Michael Chiklis as Johnny Storm and Ben Grimm were the best versions of these characters up until recently, and then Jessica Alba and Ian Gruffudd were just the best version of their characters by default. Rest in peace to Julian McMahon as Dr. Doom, because he tried. He knew exactly what movie he was making, and he succeeded, in my opinion. All that being said, I'm just not really with this movie, or the majority of this movie just being an origin story for these characters and them getting used to their powers. And then there wasn't really no, granted, I like how small scale it was, but it just didn't work as an origin story. My runner-up is Fantastic Four Rise of the Silver Surfer, which I know might be a controversial choice for many people, but hear me out, because I do think this movie is a bit of an improvement over the last movie. I mean, it takes itself a little bit more seriously. The Fantastic Four in this movie is a badass. I do think there is some character progression with some of the characters, mainly Johnny Storm in this movie. Now, this movie is still silly in like the first half, but then once the Silver Surfer comes in and crash Sue Storm and Reed Richards' wedding, that's when the movie really got interesting for me. But it still doesn't change the fact that they did Galactus wrong in this movie. But of course, at number 1 is Fantastic Four First Steps. This truly is the best Fantastic Four movie ever made, and granted by default, but still, they just did everything right. I don't think it's a completely perfect movie, but like I said, it is just a vast improvement over everything we've gotten before. These actors did an excellent job at these characters. They got these characters right. Even female Silver Surfer in this movie, Charlotte Ball, she was awesome. They got Galactus right in this movie. There is more of an emphasis on family within this movie. It takes place in an alternate universe separate from the Marvel Cinematic Universe, so which means it was free to do whatever it wanted and stand on its own 2 feet. The visuals, especially during the second act of this movie, is stunning. I was confident that Kevin Feige and Marvel Studios would not let this go wrong for a fourth time, and they proved me right. And that's my ranking of the Fantastic Four movies. Here's a quick recap. Check it out. It's on my Letterboxd. Just follow me at Lassiter Factor. Now, do you agree with this list? Do you disagree with this list? How would you rank these movies? Let me know in the comments section below. This is your boy Bankful B of the Lassiter Factor. Stay safe. Wash your hands. Peace.